The big divide over the Waqf Amendment Bill is where we are putting the focus on at this hour. Amid the continued row over the Waqf Amendment Bill, NDA allies seem to have taken a different road from the BJP. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu assured the Muslim community in his state that his government will ensure the protection of Waqf properties. However, he did not specifically refer to the Waqf Amendment Bill during his speech. He said, and I quote, "I assure that our government will protect the properties of the Waqf board. We will maintain communal harmony and help Muslim families progress financially. The Telugu Desam party will always stand by Muslims," unquote. Meanwhile, reportedly, another key ally, JDU, has given 3 suggestions to the government regarding the Waqf bill. JDU has suggested that since land is a state subject, the new law should also uphold this priority. The new law will not be applied retrospectively, provided the Waqf property is registered. This means that registered Waqf properties will remain unaffected. However, if a property is disputed or government-owned and not registered as Waqf, its future will be decided based on the standards set in the Waqf bill. Additionally, if a Waqf property is located on government land, its fate will also be determined according to the bill's provisions. JDU has further suggested that if a Waqf property is unregistered but has a religious structure, such as a mosque or a dargah, it should not be demolished. Instead, its status should be preserved. We have a very special guest joining us now. We have Mr. K.V. Prasad, senior journalist, now being with us on the broadcast. K.V. Prasad, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Talk to us. You have NDA allies taking a different route even as the Waqf Amendment Bill is on the threshold of being introduced in the House.
Well, I think let us get this clear. Both the Janata Dal United and the Telugu Desam Party have had a different profile vis-a-vis the minorities, in particular the Muslims. In the sense, they have a very large backing. A large number of their constituents come from this community. And the TDP in Andhra and even undivided Andhra Pradesh had the backing of the minority community for a very long. Same if you go across to Bihar, the Janata Dal United has had a fair section of people coming from that minority community. And of course, we all know, as we look for probably in the month of October, Bihar is headed for assembly elections. And Mr. Nitish Kumar, who is in the driver's seat, an ally of the NDA at the center and also at the state, would find it extremely difficult to explain to constituents other than his own supporters, how is it that possible that he is not protecting the interest? What are the fears have to be addressed? So I think this is a political issue for these two parties. More importantly, for the Janata Dal United, which has to face polls in a few months' time from now, Krishna.
Yeah, the Janata Dal United will have to face polls from now, but the Telugu Desam party doesn't have to at this stage. But talk to us in terms of, you just heard the Union Minister for Minority Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs, Kiren Rijiju, hitting out against all those who are spreading a false narrative against the Waqf bill, that it will threaten the fundamental rights of the Muslims in the country. Clearly, the NDA is sort of doing the groundwork to ensure that the Waqf Amendment Bill gets passed in Parliament.
Yes, of course, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister is primarily responsible. He is the chief whip of the government, and it is his job to ensure that he has the numbers. He has the numbers to push to make sure that the bill that is being piloted by, and in this case, probably he himself would do it as a Minority Affairs Minister. So he has to make sure he has the numbers to get it vote. And what is most important is have both the allies on board. Remember, at this point of time, we all know in terms of mathematics, 240 with the BJP, the rest component is made up by the TDP and the JDU, who are supporting the government from inside. So the government would not like to be embarrassed on this issue, especially from its own allies. In fact, in the press conference that you just referred to, Mr. Rijiju, when asked this question, rather said parties outside of the NDA, rather some he hinted people in the India alliance are also with him on this. So kind of that's a political push that he has to also make sure that he has the numbers. So I think it's perfectly understandable. But eventually, the government has just about 2 days to get it through Parliament, because if April 2nd is what a likely date your colleague Brajesh did mention, Wednesday, So we only have Friday half day, up to Friday half day. So it has to go through the House in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, whichever house is introduced, and pass in the other house. So a very, very tight window is steering the government. And I'm sure the government, that's why I was trying to whip up the numbers and make sure that everything is smoother than expected, Krishna.
KV Prasad, I also want to ask, JDU has suggested that since land is a state subject, the new law should also uphold this priority, and has given a couple of other suggestions as well. Do you think, the BJP will, include these changes in the new Waqf Amendment Bill?
Well, that's a case of political negotiation. In fact, the JDU will have to take a call, and if they have made this pitch, as you just mentioned, so obviously JDU's concerns or JDU's suggestion will have to be part of an official amendment, which makes then this amendment, if it is not part of the bill, because we have not seen the redrafted bill or the amendment bill post the Jagannath committee report, if what all recommendations they have made and how much have they been incorporated and stuff like issues like that. So all these will have to be factored in. But certainly, if the JDU's concerns are taken on board, the government will have to move official amendments part of it. So I think that will be the only time we'll have to wait and see, and to see if the government has acceded to and to what extent its allies' interests have been accommodated. Krishna.
Right. Stay with us. Meanwhile, speaking at TV9's What India Thinks Today summit, Chirag Paswan said that not all Muslims are against the Waqf Amendment Bill and that he will be the voice of those who are minority among minorities.
पूरा समाज या पूरा संप्रदाय नाराज हो जाए ऐसा नहीं होता है। कई लोग ऐसे हैं मुसलमान समाज के ही जो संशोधन हुए हैं उसका समर्थन कर रहे हैं। जेपीसी का गठन हुआ, मेरी मांग इतनी ज़रूर थी सरकार का हिस्सा होने के बावजूद भी कि कमेटी में ये बिल ज़रूर जाना चाहिए। कैबिनेट में आ गया, सीधा पार्लियामेंट में इसको लाके सो कॉल जो लोग बोलते हैं बुलडोज नहीं किया जाना चाहिए था। मैंने भी ये मांग रखी थी अपनी सरकार के समक्ष। सरकार का हिस्सा होने के बावजूद मैंने कहा था कि कमेटी में जाना चाहिए ताकि जितने भी कंसर्न स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं वो आएँ और अपनी बातों को ज़रूर रखें, उनको अपनी बातों को रखने का मौका ज़रूर मिलना चाहिए। उन बातों को रखने के दौरान मुझे समझ में आया कि मुसलमान समाज के भी कई लोग ऐसे हैं जो संशोधन इसमें हो रहे हैं उसका समर्थन करते हैं। और ये होता है, हम लोगों ने 3 तलाक में भी हम लोगों ने देखा कि एक परसेप्शन बनाने का प्रयास किया जा रहा था कि पूरा मुसलमान समाज नाराज़ है, ये है, वो है, आक्रोश है, बट एक बड़ा वर्ग उन्हीं में से उसका समर्थन भी करता था। तो उसी तरीके से इसमें भी मैं बस उन लोगों की आवाज़ बनना चाहता हूँ जो माइनॉरिटी में भी माइनॉरिटी हैं, मैं उनकी आवाज़ बनना चाह रहा हूँ।
That's all we have time for on this show. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.